Hello, welcome to Good Questions, Good Answer. Today we have another interesting question from our audience and our Venerable Center helping us to solve the problem.
Well, I can try. So thank you for inviting me again, and I'll try to shed my perspective, shed my light on this from a Buddhist perspective.
All right. Well, as many people having a good time sleeping, sometimes they do dream, sometimes they don't dream. The question is, why do we dream? What is dream?
So the science of dreams is actually a branch in science, which is studied by different disciplines. It's called oneirology in American English.
Okay.
And according to this, to general observations in the oneirology, is that dreams mainly occur in the stage of sleep, which is called the REM stage of sleep. REM stage of sleep, not to be confused, not to confuse with the rock band.
Okay.
And the rapid eye movement stage of sleep, as it is correctly called, is the stage of sleep which is it sets in after a while when you go to sleep, and during that time we dream. And one dream can take for a few seconds to 30 minutes, can last very long. But the average person has about 3 to 5 dreams per night.
Oh.
3 to 5 dreams is actually quite a lot, and when I first read that, I was quite impressed, because we usually don't remember any of those. So dreams are actually quite a mystery in human history and civilization. Many people have tried to solve what dreams mean and what they can be acted upon or how they can be used in our lives. So not only scientists but also philosophers and religious people have studied about dreams a lot in the human history. So there's actually records that they found from Mesopotamia, which is northern Africa, from 5,000 years ago, people recording their dreams down. So it was very long time ago already they were talking about dreams. And they actually have found manuals talking about dream interpretation from the ancient empires of the ancient world. And some of these manuals are very extensive. They are very detailed. And they talk about every single symbol which you can occur, which you can encounter in your dreams, and how to interpret it. This is very interesting, and there's, but it's of course many of these manuals do contradict each other.
Right. Well,
so the Greek and the Romans, they believed actually that the dreams were direct messages from deities or from people who died. And that is also a belief that is often found in Asia. And there's actually even some people who try to invoke dreams by going to a temple and sleeping in a temple. This is sometimes called dream incubation.
Oh.
But even in the present day, did you know, Lompi, did you know, Venerable Pisit, that for example, in a survey in America, they found that most people still believe that dreams have a meaning, a hidden truth, which is revealed through your dreams.
Since you already explained about the dream, well, the question remains though. Can you answer this question? Why do we dream?
Yeah. So let us first talk about what people in science say. What scientists say.
All right.
And there's a lot of discussion about it. It's quite interesting that, despite our advances in science and technology, there's still very many basic functions of human beings that we cannot explain yet. And one of them is dreaming. There's no real consensus in the scientific community about this yet. There's several theories. The neurologists, they sometimes say that dreams remove the junk from our mind. They remove the stray thoughts and patterns of the brain that do not function or do not have a function anymore.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes people also say, some scientists say, that dreams strengthen our memories. And there's also older theories from psychologists, not neurologists, but more like psychologists who study behavior, For example, Freud, he said that dreams are, that is of course the most famous theory about dreams, that dreams are memories that we repressed that refer to our childhood or something like that.
Okay.
And his student, Jung, he actually made it a little bit broader. He said that dreams are demanding attention to some neglected issue. And these theories, they are very hard to prove, so they haven't been much studied further. But there is also some evolutionary psychologists that say that dreams help us to prepare for threatening situations. So they have actually found footage, you can still find it on YouTube, of dogs that dream. So it looks like they are preparing for actual real situations which might happen in their lives, when another bigger dog is trying to hurt them or something like that, and they have to run away. So these are like theories that say that our dreams are helping us to prepare for threatening situations. And another thing is that dreams sometimes help us to create new ideas, and this is also supported by some scientific theory. Which is, I think, very nice, and I think that is actually true. We often get good ideas either in our dreams or in our meditation.
So as the scientists mentioned on this, we can see now that they believe on what they can prove, and that is their perspective view. However, can you explain or giving us a little bit more answer about in the Buddhist perspective about the dream?
So according to Buddhism, and this can be found in the Buddhist commentaries, in, for example, the Pali tradition, and there's 4 causes of dreams. And this is a very well-known teaching in Thai Buddhism. And these 4 causes can be summarized in English language as follows. First of all, physical causes. Sometimes our body is the cause of our dreams. Then there are mental causes. Our mind and how it's not properly functioning can cause us the dream. Then there is the third cause of dreams that are supernatural causes. Now that is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, very.
And and the fourth is because of the law of karma. That is the 4 causes mentioned in the Buddhist texts.
Okay. So these are the 4 causes that making us, but can you clarify one by one a little bit, so that way we can more clearly understand about these 4 causes in the Buddhist perspective way? Right.
So I've tried to draw this mostly from the teaching of Longpa Dattajivo.
Oh, okay.
Venerable Dattajivo, our deputy abbot, and also our teacher.
Okay.
And the commentaries in Buddhist texts. So the first one, physical causes of dreams, can be from different reasons. For example, we might sleep on our arm, which causes our arm to hurt or to become numb, and this causes a dream. Or sometimes the environment around us is not good. For example, we have too many plants in our room, causing us to lack oxygen. Exactly. Okay. So these are physical causes of dreams. And it's important to notice that when you know the cause of the dream, then you can also determine whether that dream is valuable or not. So as I just mentioned, there are 4 kinds of causes. If the dream is caused by a physical cause, then it's usually not worth to pay much attention to it.
So since our body is malfunction, it's sometimes making the system and our mind unable to function properly. But what about if it is by our mind then?
Yeah, so also our mind may have sometimes cause us to dream. Our mind may not be functioning well, causing us to dream. That is very common. Things that we have experienced throughout the day and that we are anxious about or that we are worried about or that we are angry about, they come back to us in our sleep. And they may be mixed up, jumbled in with other events. But these are not to be paid too much attention to.
I see.
So according to Buddhism, these dreams, they don't have a predictive value, or they don't have any much wisdom in it. It's just our thoughts jumbled up because of we are mixing a lot of our thoughts and emotions. They mix up and they form our dreams. So, but sometimes many people find that they have trouble sleeping because of such dreams. When we have very strong nightmares, it can be very cause a lot of suffering for some people. And I've heard of a number of people that actually have nightmares during this COVID-19 crisis because they are afraid. So in such a case, meditating before we sleep will help a lot to decrease the hindrances, the negative emotions, and unrealistic perceptions that cause us to dream.
I see. So these are the cause that making the mind become having a dream. So basically, this what you mentioned are the hindrance in the meditation. So while practice meditation, this can help making the mind be more focused and function properly. What about the one that you are mentioned earlier about the supernatural cause? This is quite interesting to me.
Yeah. So there's also some dreams which may sometimes have a predictive value or wisdom in it. And these dreams, they tend to always come in the just before the sun rises in the early morning. It may be in the early morning, after midnight. According to the commentaries, it's in the last. It's as after the night has passed already, or after slightly before the sun rises. But I don't know if it's that exact, but that is what the commentaries say. And these dreams are different from other dreams in that they are very visual, very clear. They're very easy to remember because of that reason.
I see.
And according to Buddhism, there may be a cause for that. Because in Buddhism we believe that not only are there human beings in this world, but that there are also beings that we cannot see with the naked eye.
I see.
That we can only understand and see with our naked mind, not the naked eye. So when the mind is stripped from its defilements, hindrances, and other negative emotions and unrealistic perceptions, then we can see reality as it really is. And that is why sometimes these beings, they are described by Buddhist monks or the Buddha himself, and they are sometimes called devas. There are also other kinds of beings, but devas tend to want to communicate with human beings sometimes. And they do so through dreams. This may really be true, just like I previously mentioned the Greek and the Romans believing that. But these devas, they might, they might not always have a good intention. Sometimes they might want to bully us by giving us some dream, or sometimes they might want to give us some wisdom, depending on whether you meet a good deva or not in you when you are sleeping. There's another kind of cause that causes dreams according to Buddhist text. And that is also the sort of dream that appears just before the sun rises and is very clear and memorable. But this is not about supernatural beings, but this is about a phenomenon in Buddhism which we call karma, which is the actions that we have done in the past, in this case, causing us to have a certain premonition of something that is about to happen, which may be good or bad. And the same karma also causes us to actually experience that event that we had a premonition about. So because of the karma in the past creates both the premonition and the event. So therefore it seems like our dreams are actually causing it, but it's not caused by our dreams, it's caused by the karma in the past.
I see.
So for example, you might have a dream of somebody, for example, you have a financially difficult situation You are actually quite poor, or you have a lot of debts. And then you dream one night, and the memory, the dream is very clear just before you wake. And then you dream about somebody coming to your rescue and giving you a large amount of money so you can help yourself and solve your debts. This is because in the past we used to be generous, we used to be kind, we used to take care of others. And this karma in the past then causes us to have both that dream and the actual event. So the next day maybe somebody will come to us and tell us that somebody left his will, left some heritage to us. Or somebody comes to us and says, I've heard that you are in debt, I've heard that you have financial difficulties, I will help you out. So in this case, for example, in this example, it shows that some things in our dreams may indicate something that's about to happen. So it's not always the case that dreams are complete nonsense. They may sometimes have a predictive value or wisdom in it.
People sometimes when they are doing something wrong and or thing doesn't go according to their own way, sometimes they blame this on karma. It is right though?
Yeah, so we have to understand that the law of karma is always about responsibility and our own responsibility.
I see.
So let us first summarize what is the law of karma. The law of karma is very easily summarized by saying that when you do good, you meet good. When you do bad, you meet bad. So that's very simply said. If you break that up, or if you start to look at that in more detail, basically it comes down to the motivation with which you do things. If you are motivated by a cloudy mind, a mind that is not good, you're motivated by greed, by hatred, or by delusion, you're not seeing things as they really are. And you act on that. You hurt people, you hurt yourself. Then you are attracting suffering in your life. And that suffering will someday come to you, sooner or later. You cannot avoid it in any way. Then the other thing is sometimes we act on good intentions. We act on the basis of generosity, the feeling of wanting to be generous to others, wanting to give, the feeling of loving kindness. We act on wisdom. We understand that something is the wise thing to do, and we do that. All of these are positive qualities, or in Buddhist terminology, wholesome qualities, kusala, and that help us to create and attract happiness in life. So happiness will come to us whether somebody notices our good deed or not.
I see.
It will come to us, and we can also not avoid this happiness. It will be like a law of nature. So that's why many Buddhists don't speak only about the word karma as one word, but they will say there is a law of karma.
Yeah. What is the misunderstanding about the karma then? That sometimes when we most of the time when we speak about the karma, they thought that everything's governed by the karma.
Yeah, that's taking it too far. So some people misunderstand, you know. There's this funny cartoon from Dilbert. Now that is of course not karma. Karma is always about taking our personal responsibility. It's not about blaming other people or blaming something else. There's actually a Buddhist text in which the Buddha says that there are three things which the law of karma is not. So these three are, first of all, you don't blame everything on karma. Okay. You still have a freedom to do things.
No,
I once had a conversation with somebody who heard that I was a Buddhist. At the time I was not a monk yet. And he said, well, I also believe in karma. And the other day I killed a mouse which was eating food from my kitchen because, it was his karma. So that's not a way we look at karma at all. We cannot just do something bad to somebody else and say, well, it's their karma. Karma is always for every person what's happening to you. What you do now is your karma, and what comes to you later is called the result of karma. And you cannot just, say, well, whatever happens, whatever I do, it's other people's karma that attract that. We all have our own responsibility, our freedom to decide things. We are never determined by other people's karma or by our own karma. We can always make new choices. Traditional, very clear example is the story of Angulimala, who was predicted to be a mass murderer, or at least predicted to be a very violent man. And he later it actually turned out to become a mass murderer. But eventually he was able to break that habit because of his faith in the Buddha, and also because of his own determination and effort.
I see.
So that was a very powerful thing to do, and it only is showing how important it is in Buddhism that not everything is determined by karma, prediction, that kind of things. There's a lot of things that are still not fixed. So it's true that karma in the past affects our life very much, but not every detail is our karma from the past. So there's one person who wrote a letter to our abbot and teacher in Thailand, and asking why did I move to Japan? Because I started working in Japan and now I was not able to go to the temple in Thailand so much. And then our abbot and teacher, he said, well, you went to Japan. That is the cause.
It's your choice.
So not everything is karma. She just decided to go to Japan, and that was the present cause. Okay. There's another kind of thing that people make mistakes about. They sometimes think that everything in life is determined by God or by some higher intelligence. So there's a funny story about this. This woman is a villager, and she's about to drown because there is some flooding. A lot of water has come and flooded the village.
Okay.
And she's about to be covered in the water. The water is all the way up to her chest. Then very luckily, there are some villagers coming. Some of her fellow villagers coming in a boat to rescue her. And they tell her, please get on the boat, because you're about to drown. Then we will get you somewhere safe. And then she says, no, don't worry about me. God will take care of me. And then the boat goes away. And then the water, of course, rises and goes all the way to her chin. And then there's another boat coming with more villagers trying to rescue her. And then she says, well, don't worry about me. God will take care of me. And then they go away shaking their heads. Then the water rises more and more, and then she has to face upward just to stay alive and breathe. And she cannot swim. The third boat comes, villagers come again, and she says, no, God will take care of me. The boat goes away, and she drowns. Then, according to the story, she goes to heaven, and she meets God in heaven. And then she complains to God, why didn't you help me? I had such faith in you, and you didn't help me. And then God says, well, I sent 3 boats to help you.
Well,
so this only shows that we don't really know what is God's will and what is not, but what we do know is that every action we do has a result, and we better take care and be responsible for our actions. So this is not blaming Christianity or any other religion for that matter. It's just saying that we cannot blame everything on God.
Right. It's kind of
The
like
third one is a bit, it's not so found so much, but also some people believe that everything is a destiny. You know, sometimes we see this in some ancient stories or something. So in the time of the Buddha, there was actually a man called Makali, and Makali, he said that life is like a ball of string, which you roll out, and then eventually the string just runs out. And there's nothing you can do to change your destination. You cannot change your destiny at all. So this is not saying that God is behind it or karma. It's just saying that everyone's life is already fixed as a sort of fixed pattern. And that is also opposed to being active and responsible. So that's not the law of karma. Law of karma is always about being active and responsible. So in other words, the law of karma says that we can always change something. Sometimes the metaphor that some teachers use is that of a river. So a river, it still has some current. You know, it cannot just turn the tide. It cannot just go back on itself.
Right.
But the river will sometimes change its course slightly, or more or less, depending on whether people put stones in front of it. You can still change your life. You can, in fact, even change your life a lot, often. Because of the things you do now, because of the karma you do now. There is some current from the past, from the law of karma in the past, but not everything is determined by karma. We can change things, and we will be miraculously surprised when we start doing good in our lives on a regular basis, and we will find it comes back to us.
Right.
So this is the law of karma.
So everything we do have also by our own choice. And that choice comes back to us whatever we decide, whatever we do. I think we found the answer now that everything we do have effect into our life, and especially our mind. So whatever we do has consequence, and therefore always keep our mind bright and clear. Practice meditation before you go to bed would allow your mind to be properly rest and allow yourself to have a good dream. If you have a good dream, everyone, come telling me sometime too. Hope to see you again in next questions. So thank you very much, Venerable Sander.
Thank you for having me.
We hope to see you again, everyone, in our next question next time. Good questions, good answer.